Do you know that some of the most beautiful places on Earth are also the most dangerous? Wait a minute. If you are wondering to visit any of such place, then find out in this video and make your decision. Not because of volcanoes or predators, but because of lines on a map. Lines that have been drawn, erased, and redrawn in blood and ink for decades, even centuries. Today, we're diving deep into three of the world's most enduring and complex territorial disputes. These aren't just political squabbles. They're deeply human stories of identity, history, and survival that continue to shape our world. Forget the headlines for a moment. We're going beyond the sound bites to explore the real stories, the historical roots, and the powerful emotions that fuel these conflicts. By the end of this journey, you'll see these familiar names on the news in a completely new light. So, buckle up as we journey from the soaring peaks of the Himalayas to the ancient lands of the Middle East. Our first up is a place often called heaven on earth, a land of breathtaking valleys and snow-capped mountains, Kashmir. But this paradise has been a battleground for over 70 years by Indian occupational forces. To understand why, we have to go back to 1947. When the British Empire left the Indian subcontinent, it was partitioned into two new nations: Hindu majority, India, and Muslim majority, Pakistan. The princely states, including Jammu and Kashmir, were given a choice: join India, join Pakistan, or remain independent. The ruler of Kashmir, Maharaja Hari Singh, a Hindu ruling over a Muslim majority population, hesitated. He dreamed of an independent Kashmir. Pakistan views Maharaj Hari Singh's decision to accede to India in 1947 as illegal, fraudulent, and a violation of the partition principle. From Pakistan's perspective, this decision was invalid for several key reasons. They argues that as a Muslim-majority state, Jammu and Kashmir should have acceded to Pakistan, a view they believe the Maharaj ignored. Pakistan maintains the instrument was signed under duress, with Indian troops having arrived in Srinagar before the formal accession was signed in 1947. They contends that in 1947, the Maharaj had lost control over his state due to popular revolts, and therefore was not legally competent to sign the instrument of accession. Consequently, Pakistan has historically called for a plebiscite to determine the state's future, as suggested by the UN Security Council, and maintains that the Kashmir conflict is a disputed territory rather than an integral part of India. India says Kashmir is rightfully theirs. Pakistan contests its validity, arguing it was made under duress and against the will of the Kashmiri people. This led to the First Indo-Pakistani War in 1947. The United Nations intervened, establishing a ceasefire line that we now know as the Line of Control, or LOC. It was meant to be temporary, pending a plebiscite vote for the Kashmiri people to decide their own future. That vote never happened. Since then, two more major wars have been fought over the region, along with countless skirmishes. Today, the region is divided. India has occupied Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Pakistan administers Azad, Kashmir, and Gilgit-Baltistan. And there's another player, China, which controls a region called Oksai Chin, seized after a war with India in 1962. For the people living there, life is a constant state of uncertainty, caught between military checkpoints, political crackdowns, and the threat of violence. The question remains, can this 70-year-old wound ever truly heal? Or is the heaven on earth destined to be a forever conflict zone? From the icy heights of Kashmir, we travel to the sun-baked lands of the Middle East, to a conflict that resonates across the globe. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict. This is a story of two peoples with deep, ancient ties to the same small strip of land. To find its modern roots, we look to the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The Zionist movement emerged in Europe, advocating for the establishment of a Jewish national home in their ancestral land, then part of the Ottoman Empire and known as Palestine. After World War I, Britain took control of the area. They had made conflicting promises during the war supporting both Arab independence and a national home for the Jewish people in Palestine. Jewish immigration to the region increased, leading to rising tensions and violence with the Arab population who feared being displaced. In 1947, the United Nations trying to solve the problem, voted to partition Palestine into separate Arab and Jewish states, with Jerusalem as an international city. The Arab states and Palestinian leaders rejected it. In May 1948, as the British mandate ended, David Ben-Gurion declared the establishment of the State of Israel. Immediately, decision started the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. Egypt took control of the Gaza Strip, and Jordan annexed the West Bank and East Jerusalem. For Palestinians, it was a war of independence and survival. It became known as the Nakba, or the catastrophe, as over 700,000 were displaced from their homes, becoming refugees. The conflict didn't end there. The Six-Day War in 1967 was a turning point. Israel captured the West Bank, Gaza Strip, East Jerusalem, the Sinai Peninsula, and the Golan Heights. This began the Israeli military occupation of the Palestinian territories. Today, the core issues remain unresolved. Palestinians seek to establish their own independent state in the West Bank and Gaza, with East Jerusalem as its capital. Key sticking points include the status of Jerusalem, the final borders, the fate of Israeli settlements built in the West Bank. Most of the world considers illegal land the right of return for Palestinian refugees. Peace talks have occurred on and off for decades, with agreements like the Oslo Accords offering glimmers of hope, but a final, lasting peace has remained elusive. Our final destination takes us to the vast, shimmering waters of the South China Sea. This isn't a dispute over a small patch of land, but over one of the most important maritime highways in the world. Nearly a third of all global shipping passes through here, and beneath the waves lie potentially vast reserves of oil and natural gas. The problem, almost everyone in the neighborhood wants a piece of it. The main claimant is China, which uses a controversial 9-dash line to claim historic rights over about 90% of the sea. This Ushept line, first appearing on a Chinese map in the 1940s, overlaps with the exclusive economic zones claimed by several other countries. Who are the other players? Vietnam, the Philippines, Malaysia, Brunei, and Taiwan all have their own competing claims to various islands, reefs, and waters. Vietnam claims the Paracel and Spratly Islands based on historical evidence of administration. The Philippines' claim focuses on the Spratlys and the Scarborough Shoal, which are close to its shores. Malaysia and Brunei claim areas in the southern part of the sea that fall within their economic zones, as defined by international law. These aren't just lines on a map. The disputes play out in the real world. We see tense standoffs between Coast Guard vessels, fishing boats being seized, and most significantly, China's massive land reclamation projects. Over the past decade, China has built artificial islands on top of submerged reefs in the Spratlys, equipping them with ports, airstrips, and military installations. This has dramatically changed the status quo, allowing China to project its power deep into the sea. Other nations see this as an aggressive move to enforce its claims and militarize the region. In 2016, an international tribunal at The Hague ruled in favor of the Philippines, declaring that China's 9-dash line had no legal basis. China rejected the ruling, stating it does not accept or recognize it. The United States, while not a claimant, regularly conducts freedom of navigation operations, sailing its warships through the disputed waters to challenge what it sees as excessive maritime claims and ensure the sea lanes remain open. The South China Sea is a complex geopolitical chessboard where national pride, economic resources, and military strategy collide. The big question is whether this high-stakes game can be managed through diplomacy, or if a miscalculation could spark a much larger conflict. Kashmir, Israel-Palestine, the South China Sea. 3 vastly different regions, yet they share a common thread: the clash of history, identity, and ambition. These aren't simple problems with easy solutions. They are deeply human struggles, layered with decades of pain, pride, and perspective. Understanding them requires us to step outside of our own viewpoints and listen to the stories and histories of all sides. What do you think? Is there a path to peace in these troubled lands? What key factor do you believe is the biggest obstacle to a resolution? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. We read every single one. If you found this journey insightful, please hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the issues that shape our world. Thanks for watching.